I'm sure you'll agree, my dear, if you take a moment to ponder the matter, that it might be for the best if we put all plans for our upcoming wedding on hold, perhaps indefinitely."
Miss Drusilla Merriweather sucked in a sharp breath, which immediately resulted in her choking on the sip of tea she'd just taken. Wheezing promptly commenced and continued for what seemed like forever, until she was finally able to settle eyes that were now watering on Mr. Elbert Harrington, her fiancé, or perhaps not, given the words that had just come out of his mouth, who was sitting across the table from her in the middle of Rutherford and Company's tea room, watching her somewhat warily. "Forgive me, Elbert," she managed to say in a breathy voice that now held a bit of a rasp. "It's quite unlike me to sputter about, but I fear all the sputtering was a direct result of me obviously mishearing you. It almost sounded as if you were suggesting we end our engagement." Elbert leaned over a table draped in fine linen.
"I'm afraid you didn't mishear me, Drusilla."
She stilled. "You're breaking our engagement?"
"I think it would be better if you do the breaking."
"Better for whom?" Elbert settled back in his chair.
"Surely you must realize that having you decide we won't suit, and then letting society know it was your choice to end matters will allow you to maintain your dignity. It will also allow you to avoid having everyone assume there's something wrong with you, which you know is the conclusion everyone within the upper crust always arrives at if a gentleman ends an engagement."
Drusilla's mind went curiously numb, as if she simply couldn't comprehend the nuances of a conversation she'd certainly not been expecting to hold with a man she'd been engaged to for well over 2 years. "What exactly is it that you think is wrong with me?" she finally managed to ask.
"I didn't say anything was wrong with you," Elbert countered. "I merely pointed out that if I were to dissolve our engagement, everyone traveling within our social set would assume I'd done so because you're deficient in some respect."
Drusilla pressed a finger against a temple that was beginning to throb. "I'm probably going to regret asking, miss, but what deficiencies, in your opinion, would everyone decide I possess?"
"I don't believe there's any need to delve into that," Elbert said, bestowing his most charming of smiles on her, but a smile she was not exactly finding all that charming at the moment.